If you're a business owner, you don't need us to tell you running a business is tough. Don't let QuickBooks and spreadsheets slow you down anymore. Now is the time to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle, the world's #1 cloud business system. NetSuite gives you the visibility and control over your financials, HR, inventory, e-commerce, and more. Join the over 21,000 companies using NetSuite right now. Schedule your free product tour right now at netsuite.com/C-suite. netsuite.com/C-suite.
Welcome to the Superhero Homies podcast. My name is Quentin, and as always, I'm here with the homie Kevin.
Hey, good evening, ladies and gents. It feels like it's been too long. It hasn't, but I've just been anxious to come back and do another Superhero Homie.
Hell yeah.
How you doing, man?
I am doing, man. I'm here.
Cool.
Yeah.
Happy Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And things of the sort. Yep.
Hope you guys have been enjoying Luke Cage Season 2.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. And so, of course, we're here for the second of 4 editions of our coverage of Luke Cage Season 2.
We didn't want to do another 4 episode sucker, but the math luckily equaled out. So we're doing 3 and 3 and 3.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because, like, whenever you cover a TV show, especially a Netflix TV show, there's always a difficult format. You know, there's a real filling out portion where you really have to kind of figure out the best way to proceed with covering all of this material.
Right.
You know, because, like, doing with the Netflix show, covering, like, each episode on an individual podcast is, I mean, that's probably the best way, but it's also by far like the most time consuming.
Yep.
You know, kind of the same thing with 2 episodes, but then you just kind of have to find the right formula, and so here we are.
Yep. Here we are, guys.
That's right, covering episodes 5, 6, and 7 tonight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But of course, guys, before we get too far into Luke Cage Season 2, we have to start off first with some comic news.
Yeah, Sunday edition. What's going on, my man?
All right. First up, Lawrence Fishburne says that he wants to play Galactus in the MCU. I think that'd be pretty great if he.
Oh my gosh, dude!
Yeah, like if the whole Fox selling to Disney goes through, then. I think that Lawrence Fishburne would make for a pretty fantastic Galactus, you know.
Agreed, man. I mean, get his voice behind that, maybe a little computer editing in there and whatnot, and you got freaking Spaceman Galactus up in there.
Oh, yeah.
Hard.
It is a little ironic, though, because if you remember back at Fantastic Four 2, The Rise of Silver Surfer, he voiced Silver Surfer in that movie.
He was the messenger for himself.
That he is, yeah.
I am coming. I am here. I'm eating your planet.
Basically.
Yep.
But of course, I mean, there's no, there's no real sign or evidence that that's going to actually go through. I mean, Disney doesn't even have the properties yet. So.
True.
But
is there any latest on that?
No, nothing yet. Yeah, still just playing the waiting game for now.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Next up, Kevin Feige says that more female superheroes are coming to the MCU.
Oh, that's well timed then.
That is. I thought it was pretty timely, considering one of our previous podcasts about all the hero ladies in the superhero genre.
Exactly. Yeah. Does he have any examples for us besides Captain Marvel? Obviously.
I mean, no, not at the moment.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I mean, we can always speculate. But I mean, there certainly is a lot that he could choose from.
True.
So
yeah.
But yeah, you know, hopefully, as with all heroes, hopefully they're done well and they're tasteful.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let's see. Next up, Jared Leto has been confirmed to star as Morbius in the Spider-Man spin-off movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Jared Leto will be Michael Morbius and Morbius' own spin-off movie. Yeah. So that is the thing. Jared Leto is attached to it.
Okay.
Don't know when they begin filming. I don't even know if the script is complete yet. I assume so, but I'm not really sure yet.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be interesting to see his portrayal on this character, and I wonder, the kind of direction that they'll take with it. Having like because I almost feel like that's, well, it's not quite stepping onto Blade territory, but the two have crossed paths on, more than one occasion. So what's up?
Oh no, just looking it up and trying to get myself a picture to better imagine it and whatnot. Yeah, I'm trying to think it through. Like I could kind of see it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Interessante.
So we'll see what happens with that one. Keeping my fingers crossed and all that, but I think this will be a Sony production. Seeing that Spider-Man is still technically owned by Sony.
So I wonder what that means then. Like, does that mean an Andrew Garfield pullover? Like, are we going to see him back in the spider suit or something? I don't know.
No, because Spider-Man doesn't have to be in it, just like Spider-Man doesn't have to be in Venom.
True.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield, he's not attached to Spider-Man now. Like, Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man, and they're renting Spider-Man to Marvel.
True.
So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see what goes on with that one. Jared Leto as a superhero vigilante vampire Marvel character.
Basically, yeah. Who isn't Blade? Yeah.
Yep.
Huh.
Let's see. Kevin Feige has confirmed that Doctor Strange 2 is definitely happening.
Hey!
Yeah.
We accidentally called that kinda, but who didn't? But yeah.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't feel like any one person can take credit for that because we all kind of saw it coming.
Right. I remember that being a topic of conversation because we did comment previously about it on Avengers 2, but then the listener asked us about that, and we were like, oh, wait, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now it's like, haha.
Right.
Yeah. Everybody's happy.
Including Benedict Cumberbatch, I'd assume. Hope he's happy.
Hopefully so, hopefully this will be a cool bring back after the Grinch and everything he's doing. Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Indeed. Yeah. Yes. That role.
I'm going to combine these last three into one since they all kind of
mega news.
Yeah. So Jeremy Irons will reportedly star in the Watchmen TV series, and the rumor going on now is that he's going to star as Ozymandias. So I was like, damn, that'd be pretty cool to see. It's going to be really cool to see like the take on this character. Of course, Jeremy Irons is a fantastic actor.
I could totally see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But along with that, there's another actor from the Sleepy Hollow TV show. I believe that was on Fox. That could be wrong. I think that show was on Fox.
Okay.
But anyways, the main actor from that show, Tom Mison, or Misson, I think it's Mison. Tom Mison. He's also going to be in the Watchmen TV show. And the actor that will be playing Black Manta in the Aquaman movie will also be in the Watchmen TV show.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, I cannot pronounce his name. It's like Yahya Abdul Mateen. Yep.
Okay.
So, that we will see.
Oh, there it is, yeah. And he's the second, apparently?
Yeah, probably.
Sure, okay. Yeah, no,
yeah, that's him.
The way you said it was good enough in how Google looked it up. So thank you, Google. But yeah, and he's playing Black Manta, you said?
Yeah, in the Aquaman movie, he's gonna be Black Manta. He's not gonna be Black Manta in the Watchmen.
That's why I was kind of like, wait, what? But no, Aquaman totally makes sense. Cool.
Yeah,
gotcha.
But he is also going to be in the Watchmen TV show.
Okay, all right, got you. Yeah. Not confused.
Good.
All right, cool. I wonder what part he's gonna play in.
I don't know.
TV series.
They haven't really released any definite statements as to who these actors are playing. Right now, it's just a strong rumor that Jeremy Irons will be Ozymandias. Okay. But it's hard to say yet about the other two that have been confirmed for the show. I guess we'll see. I know they're supposed to be I think they may have actually already they haven't begun filming yet, but they should begin filming pretty soon here. If they haven't begun already. I know production started, so
okay,
I'd assume so. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll probably get the Watchmen TV show maybe spring next year, if I had to guess. So.
Well, that's a ballpark. Yeah. Okay.
So here's looking to that.
Yeah, looking to that.
And of course, it's time.
Bring it.
For the comic question of the week.
Bring it.
All right.
Put on my Kevlar. I'm ready for this.
Is someone shooting at you?
Metaphorically.
Oh, okay.
Metaphorical bullets. What?
Gotcha.
What are we asking? Is it Luke Cage based?
It is.
That's what I thought it was going to be.
Yep. Who was never a member of Heroes for Hire? Was it A, Human Torch, B, She-Hulk, C, Ghost Rider, D, Punisher, or E, Hawkeye?
Punisher. Nope. Backtracking. That was the first reaction. I'm going to go Ghost Rider. I'm going to be pissed if it's Punisher, but I'm going to go with Ghost Rider. I'm ready.
All right.
Because he's the spirit of vengeance. He can't be, trying to do some moonlighting on the side.
Maybe Mephisto doesn't pay him enough.
I doubt he pays him any. This is Ghost Rider paying him back.
The answer is actually E, Hawkeye.
Okay.
Yep.
At least it wasn't Punisher, because I was about to flip your phone if that was the case. Just like, no, we're done. We're not doing that. But Hawkeye, huh?
Yep, Hawkeye.
Clint.
He, as of now, has never been a member of Heroes for Hire, but Human Torch, She-Hulk, Ghost Rider, Punisher, and a bunch more have.
I knew Human Torch had. I figured good old She-Hulk had as well. Yeah, Punisher, I mean, I don't have evidence that he hasn't, but that didn't really fit his bill. But I was more riding on Ghost Rider because spirit of vengeance, you're a slave to hell. Come on, man. You can't be trying to moonlight, But never mind, I guess he did. So go him, sure.
There we go.
He made some side cash.
Yeah, I guess, Johnny Blaze still has to pay rent, so,
Okay, but if... Okay, now we're getting into some logistics. We need to get Mephisto and talk about that contract. All right. Shall we, my friend? Is it that time already?
Shall. It is time to kick off this podcast.
All right, now sing the whole opening intro song for me. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. Heaven knows we've been watching season 2 well enough. Like, by the end of this, how many times do you think we would have watched season 2? Like 3, debatably,
Probably somewhere around there.
Because right now, I feel like I know the first 7 episodes like scripture, dude. Like, holy crap. Let's dig into it. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we do. We still have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, even with only 3 episodes.
Yeah, with only 3 episodes. I will say this. I find the pacing of this show so far not necessarily good or bad, but interesting. It's a little off-putting at times because
agreed,
they can do so much, but then ultimately not really push the plot forward a whole lot.
Right, a lot is given to us, but none of it is really pushing forward the actual plot. Like, it's all cool stuff to watch, but it's like, oh, this isn't really
right.
Yeah, okay.
It's kind of like you ever seen one of those really odd contraptions that people set up, like they push a domino over and then it flips a ball and the ball runs down, and then it causes a whole bunch of other stuff to happen,
right?
Just to spread butter on a toast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like you do all of this stuff just to get to this one point, just to do this one thing.
That's a clever and kind of funny way of comparing it, but yeah,
right. I mean, because it's fun to watch, but ultimately, you could have taken us here a very shorter way.
Exactly, there was a more efficient manner,
right.
But I won't get mad at the scenic route.
No, of course not.
Not all the scenic route. Right.
It's just a fun observation that I happen to notice.
Yeah.
All right. So beginning part 2 of our coverage of Luke Cage, starting with episode 205, All Sold Out, and of course, sold like your soul.
Yeah.
They're written by Casey Lemons. I believe WCW had a pay-per-view way back in the day called All Sold Out with the same way.
Huh.
Expected like to see Hulk Hogan drop a leg drop or something in this episode. What was interesting, first of all, about this episode that I noticed was this so far was the only episode that did not have a cold open. Like every other episode does.
Right. Yeah, I noticed that. They just directly gave us intro music.
Yeah. It was to the point where like I rewinded just to make sure that I didn't miss like the opening section.
Yeah.
But no, there was nothing there. No cold open. So that was an interesting way to start off.
Right.
It didn't really,
I think it's the first episode of any of the TV series Marvel Netflix has made to do that, right? Because I don't remember anything in like the Daredevil's past or Defenders or any of the other heroes that ever did a cold open or an episode without a cold open. Yeah,
I don't know.
So
I have to go back and check. But
the more you know.
So we start off with Cockroach and his lawyer stating their case to Luke Cage and Foggy Nelson. So we see Foggy here. It's good to see him back.
Foggy was a good fit.
He was. And it was good to see Foggy kind of true to form again, because Foggy, I've said this before, but Foggy was a lot of fun in season 1. Because he really breathed life into the character from the comics, and really helped solidify Matt Murdock and kind of stabilize him some. But like in season 2 in Defender, she was really just there to nag at Matt 24/7.
Basically, he just kind of furthered the conflict, really.
Right.
And
he was there to bitch at Matt and just to be kind of a killjoy almost. But I mean, it's good to see him here because I guess with Matt being dead, he realizes, well, I have no one to bitch at. Let me see if I can find Luke Cage and see. I don't know if I want to bitch at him. He might hit me.
And he might actually hit me. We don't have a background. Yeah.
But no, his stuff here was really fun. Was really good.
Yeah.
This is really well used cameo episode.
Okay, talk about it first. There's a part I loved, but we'll get into it.
Yeah. So Cockroach and his lawyer, they're stating their case, and basically Cockroach he's playing it up big time, man.
It's easy to hate this character. Like every scene they crafted so well in making us as an audience just want to despise him.
Right.
Yeah. So well done, Netflix. Yeah.
It was. Yeah. I mean, he was vague with his story when he needed to be, like saying things like, after I was able to defend myself from Luke Cage, referring to when he shot Luke Cage with that big ass shotgun through a window.
Exactly. Yeah.
He didn't mention that part though, but just saying, after I was able to defend myself against Luke Cage, he intruded in my home. And he began to mercilessly beat me and this and that, and he just hammed it up, man. Just played it up. And it was quite the interesting the scene to watch, and it was great seeing Luke sit over there trying to keep his composure.
Oh my gosh, yeah!
And then broke that damn table like it was nothing.
There was something Luke said. It was hilarious. Whenever Cockroach was quoting something, and then he said Prodigy was the one who said it, and then frickin'
Luke says that was Darwin.
That was Charles Darwin, you ignorant bastard. Yeah. Like, I loved that. That was possibly my favorite line this episode. Yeah.
It could have been, yeah.
Charles Darwin, you ignorant bastard.
Right. That was that was a lot of fun. That was pretty good. Afterwards, Foggy is talking with the lawyer, and then we don't really hear what they say, but Foggy comes back over to Luke and goes, what's up?
This part I loved, too. When Luke, breaks the table, that was obviously Luke frustration showing, but in between when that was happening, we as audience we watched that from Luke's point of view whenever we're back in the room with him still. I loved how he takes the table chunk and he's just holding it like it's a daggum Lego brick, well, I guess I could just kind of put it back in here maybe, and he just fiddles with it for a second. Yeah, that made me chuckle too. This whole opening scene was
it was pretty well used.
Yeah,
I liked it. Foggy comes back and speaks to Luke and says, so you basically have two options. You can either go to court, which will not end well in your favor, or you can find a way to pay $100,000 to Cockroach. And Luke was like, well, no, like neither one of these are good options for me. And, it's at this point where Foggy's really like, well, we can come up with some ways for you to make some money. We get into that a little bit later, but just seeing like all the propositions that, Luke could have. Because, going back early into the season, it seemed like there were so many avenues that he could possibly have for more financial stability.
He just wouldn't take them because, morality.
Yeah, and then, he was really letting Bobby handle all that.
And Bobby was doing a great job. He had Nike in his pocket.
Yeah. But with Bobby now the picture, there was no one here to really handle that side of things for Luke. But yeah, so the next thing we get here is a scene with Mariah and Tilda. Tilda does not want to work for the Family First Clinic because it was built on gambling and prostitution money. But Mariah does present a good counter argument. She basically says, well, yeah, the money that was spent to build this clinic was, based off of prostitution and all that. But without that money, we would not be able to have this clinic that provides somehow like free healthcare and all the like free daycare and all these other cool facilities. And so the argument can definitely be made that, hey, regardless of your moral standards, we have this money, you call it dirty, whatever, but with this money, we have used it for this good. So
it's an age-old argument,
Yeah, it is. I almost at this point, I don't think that it's an outdated argument, but I think it's one that's harder to argue with. Simply because like if my parents were, these big time gangsters that did a bunch of illegal shit, and then God forbid something happened, and then like I got all of their dirty money. In that case, I'm like, well, it was dirty in their hands, but in my hands, what I'm going to do with it didn't have to be.
I think it depends on a couple of things. Point of view and the finer details, because every situation is different,
That's the thing, like, point of view, that's the entire argument here, is that they're arguing points of views and perspectives.
Right, but to Tilda, she disagreed with you in that the money, even though it was now in the business, in that new hands, it was still dirty money. Whereas in your argument, it sounded like whenever parent money hit to Q money and became your fat wallet, then who gives a shit? It's my money, you know? Right.
Like to me, the term dirty money is kind of like a skewed term because money itself...
All money's dirty.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to know where your dollar bills have been.
Exactly. You don't literally kiss the money. That's cartoon shit. Yeah.
But even in just like the metaphorical sense of things, like money itself is just a means to an end. Is really the people behind the money that are dirty or not dirty. So like I don't know. I see Tilda's argument here. Yeah. But however, like it's easy to see that Mariah is still up to some shady shit. But her entire arc so far this season has been trying to get out of the dirty shit and into something that's legit.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a pretty cool, interesting arc for Mariah. Let's see. The next thing we get here is Misty gets her bionic arm from the Rand scientist. She struggles to pick up a coffee mug with it. It's just gonna take some time.
Sure, naturally.
Because I was always curious, like even with like Winter Soldier and all that. Let's because I think about these things too much. But let's say that you were able to craft like a bionic arm,
done
with all of the functioning digits and joints and all of like the proper mechanical tendons and ligaments and muscles, or replacements of those things that would go in a normal arm for them to work properly.
Right. Yeah.
Even if you're able to craft such an item, I never quite understood like how would you attach that to because you have to create like a bioorganic nerve ending inside the fake arm in order for that to properly...
Yep. Basically.
Hey, I guess I just wish that we had this kind of Marvel technology in real life.
I know, right?
That shit is...
we have prosthetics, but we don't have bioprosthetics where it's like, oh, let me get that mechanical robo, but still lets me kind of have nerves type thing.
Yeah, still lets me, like I can...
electric synthetic nerves. There it is. Yeah.
Or like I can control, this arm that doesn't belong to me and pick up things and, and control it, like that's...
Yeah. And also, dent in metal with it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know who exactly designed and made this because Danny is not, technically inclined like that.
No. But hey, he pays the people who are.
He pays the people who, which I wondered because we've seen Iron Fist. Like, who the hell made this for him at Rand Industries?
Someone.
Hey,
man. That's finer details. Just don't think about it.
Just don't think about
it.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Classic.
Next thing we get here is Foggy telling Luke about a proposition. There's a high-end paying personal appearance, and apparently this person is willing to pay Luke a lot of money. And Luke's first reaction is, "I'm not doing prostitution. I'm not doing porn.
Smart.
I'm not doing any of that." Oh, hey, man, listen. Not that I would watch it, but like a Luke Cage porn tape would make money. Like if you want to make all the money that you would need for this court case and beyond, Luke, do the porn. How many women Google you as you walk down the street? How many of them Google you as you walk up and down the street every day?
Are we endorsing porn? Is that what's happening right now?
I'm endorsing Luke doing what is financially best for Luke.
Okay.
You would just have to be extremely careful because I don't know how you haven't broken Claire yet.
True. Respect.
You're going to have to be careful.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's why he needs Jessica back, man. I mean...
you are correct, yeah. I mean, they broke the bed.
They broke the bed. And, they ate out the Chinese place. Yeah. Bada bing, bada boom.
Oh, man.
Damn, Chinese food is often... Whatever. Anyways.
Luke tells Misty about the lawsuit, and she suggests that maybe he should call Danny. And Luke's immediate knee-jerk reaction is no.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not doing that. Not calling that guy.
But I think it was more because it's comical to think that it's because of Danny himself, but I think it was more because of like, no, I'm not asking for his help in this situation I put myself in.
Yeah. I think there's a little bit of both.
I mean, potentially. But he and Danny got along in Defenders,
Oh, well, yeah. They coexisted. Like, there
were a few scenes where they got along. Like,
there were scenes where Danny really wanted to get along with Luke. I mean, even looking back at their first meeting, that did not go well.
No. But there were some scenes like Danny. I remember one in particular. Danny was like, "Dude, that's super cool," and freaking Luke is like, "Yeah, it was okay." Mm-hmm. Dude, you cannot tell me that was not super cool. And then he goes, "Okay, yeah, it was super cool."
Right.
Yeah, talking about like Daredevil's weaponry, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah. But regardless, Luke is not trying to.
Yeah, he wasn't having any of it. Yeah. That quickly was dismissed.
And he's also not feeling doing the personal appearance thing that Foggy was mentioning. So now he's going through like the sponsorships that Bobby had for him and trying to see if he can still get some connects. Like the Nike rep says, well, with seeing you being beat down like that, that's not motivational. So that's not good for selling shoes. There was one guy that wanted Luke to fight a shark.
That was crazy. Yeah. I loved how Luke did the whole. Give me a second. Bent away. Hey, Foggy, how much did Beyonce make again?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Like he had to reassure himself.
Yeah.
There were some funny moments lined up in this one.
There were some funny moments in this, and I think that this is the way to go with this type of arc because I mean to play it, dry and serious about the lawsuit would just be. It'd be eye rolling, and it'd be almost a chore to watch.
It'd be boring.
It'd be boring, because I mean, not saying that this isn't a distraction from the main plot, but it kind of is. Yeah. But at least they managed to make it entertaining,
right?
We see Shades next, and Shades says that that he's talking to Mariah basically, and then he's trying to talk to her about we should, we need to get out and we need to end this. Bushmaster has our guns. We need to find a way to remedy this. And then I really like these next 3 episodes because we really see like more character development from Shades. And like even back in episode 4, I said that, wow, we're seeing a side of Shades that we've never seen before. And here it's continuing to grow, and it's really good for his character here.
Yeah.
He says, what if there's more blood on the streets because of our guns? You know, like Shades, because like especially in season 1, like we would just see this one note character that didn't really seem to give a shit about anything except for like his Terminator perspective. But here we see a Shades that's really thinking about, okay, well, people could die because of the guns that we sold to Bushmaster. Like a bunch of people could die because of this. Like we need to find a way to remedy this.
Right.
And I really love that dichotomy of the character. Yeah, so it's kind of good to see him make that progress. And so him and Raya, this is like another one of their many fights in the show. And he says to her, okay, well, if you really want to be out, then be all the way out. Let me buy Harlem's Paradise.
See, this I thought was an interesting moment. And I'll tell you why in a bit. I don't want to say it right now.
Okay.
But it's... I don't know. Continue,
Gotcha.
please. Yeah.
Yep. Mariah says no.
Of course.
Right.
Naturally.
Yeah. She's not feeling that. No, she's not going to sell Harlem's Paradise. And I almost feel like that's a sign almost that Mariah is not really ready to fully be out of that kind of life.
Right.
And I'm sure that Shades really did want to buy Harlem's Paradise.
Yeah, of course.
If she was really willing to sell it. But Shades, especially throughout these next few episodes, we really realize that he is a smarter character than he gives off.
Right. Like he already seemed to be the criminal tutor, essentially, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But now we see that there was more to that. He was a leader and things like that. But it's, I don't know, man. Like it. I think this scene, in short of what I'm trying to say, or what I was going to try to say.
Right.
There's a weird tense there. Yeah, it's like it's the laying of the seed, really, for a lot of thoughts and a lot of things that are going to happen that we haven't come across yet in our addiction of the episodes and whatnot.
Right.
Essentially, I could round up to this. I think this scene is out of order. Like, I would have loved to have seen this scene later in the show rather than in this episode. Because I think it would have worked better for the character, his development, and for the future conversations we're going to uncover here in a minute regarding his character and things of that sort. But that's a theory. That's old Kevin Keister over here playing copy and paste and cut and everything.
Next up, Shade says that he doesn't trust Piranha.
Of course.
And so he's going to go to his party to make sure he doesn't do anything stupid. Mariah checks her bank statement, and it has a whopping $356,439,235 in it. She is sitting stout right now.
She checks that bank account often, man. She's
does.
just like, I want to see it again.
I want to, That would be euphoric. Like, you know, talk about getting like a dopamine rush. Like that is an easy way to do it. Open up. Well, like you have to have this kind of money. If you do not have this kind of money, if you have my kind of money, don't look at your bank account.
Exactly. It's the opposite. You lose dopamine. But in her case, it's like you're in some awesome store and you're buying this ridiculous piece of crap you don't actually ever need in your life. Right. But of course, it'd be cool to have. So you're just like, I don't know if I really need this. You turn to your bank statement like it's a person. Yeah, you're right. I'm getting it. Cha-ching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Foggy and Luke meet with Piranha. There is a shitload of Luke Cage memorabilia.
This was weird. Like, you kind of had evidence leading up to this, so it wasn't completely out of nowhere, but it was like, oh, shit. Okay, Piranha's getting a little weird.
Yeah.
Was he like that in the comics? Are you aware? Like, do you know?
I don't. To my knowledge, he wasn't necessarily like a Luke Cage fanboy.
Okay.
I mean, he was like he was more like a criminal gangster type character.
Right. He actually had piranha teeth and shit. Like, it was weird.
That was very weird.
Here they kind of fork-tailed it in, how he's Mr. Piranha, you know? It works.
It worked.
It works, but it's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, I mean, to me, it worked. Like, this was definitely the best version of Piranha that I've seen. So,
yeah.
I
I
really
mean, it's
enjoyed
better
it.
than having a wannabe Jaws, I suppose, on set.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just a ton of Luke Cage memorabilia. There's like the door that he used in season 1 to.
Yeah.
I mean, the car door, that is. There's like a fake Seagate uniform, that a jumpsuit that Luke had in prison. That's not really it, though. It's a fake.
Because it was orange.
It was orange, yeah.
You can go back and watch it yourself. Yeah.
Yep. But long story short, here, what they end up at is Luke says, "Okay, I'll do it for $150,000."
Yeah.
And you said it's just going to be to shake hands and take pictures. And Piranha said, "Yes, of course, that's all." Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Like, there's some people, like, even if you have like an ironclad contract, that they just still
You still can't trust them.
Yeah, still feel so slimy that just doesn't feel right.
Right, like you sitting there shaking hands, and you're just like, "Shit, I feel it. Oh, that was poison. Oh shit. Oof. My spidey senses are going off.
Right.
Yeah."
Shades, he asked Comanche to find where Ray Ray is, because Ray Ray's been missing throughout this episode, and so is Mark Higgins. Actually, he's also been missing throughout this episode.
Important.
Yeah, very much so. So everybody in the beginning was wondering, where is Mark Higgins? The police were asking, and this and that, and come to find out, Mariah and Shades, neither one of them have seen Mark Higgins, like, legitimately, so they don't know where he's at. And now Ray Ray's gone missing. And it's at this time where Comanche gets a text from his mama, quote unquote, who is actually the police chief, asking to see him tonight.
Yeah.
We know that Comanche has been an informant for the police chief, so.
Which, that was cool. I did not see that happening. That was kind of like, oh, okay. That had some cool, interesting twists potentially. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this isn't the first meeting we've seen between them.
Right. No, but whenever it first was announced, and then this meeting following, it was like, okay, like, sure.
Yeah. So the next thing we get here is Misty. She has a flashback of her time with Scarf.
Yeah, I still love a lot of the Misty material we get.
Oh yeah,
yeah, like this included.
Yeah, I really had a lot of fun with this too. We get to see more Scarf, and basically in this scene, they're raiding Cockroach's home, looking for anything, particularly a gun. And Misty has raided the apartment. She can't find anything. Cockroach is telling them, I'm clean. I don't have anything here. Like a smart criminal, he wouldn't keep anything in his home.
Exactly. And also, I love that they talk about here what we made fun of last podcast. Like, literally talking about, so wait, you prefer to be called Cockroach?
Oh, yeah.
And like, he's saying it like matter of fact, like, yeah.
Right.
Why? You wouldn't? Like, what?
I mean, like, I guess if you're a super optimist and it may be a little naive, you would think, well, yeah, I mean, I'm the roach. I can survive a nuclear holocaust, and
I guess
I can survive like 7 days without my head and all this other.
You're just a very powerful optimist at that point. Like, you know what? You do you, man. I can't do that, but you do you. Yeah.
Scarf says he's gonna go and do one more look around to see if he can find anything, and then he comes back with a gun and says, "Found this behind the headboard." I mean, I do love what they're doing here. Showing more of Scarf and how he was just like a
sleazy cop.
Kind of a douchebag. Yeah, just planting evidence. He was a dirty cop. However, I feel like anyone would be like, "Now wait a minute now."
Exactly.
Where'd you find this
that's
again?
a little too obvious. Like, wait, how long were you gone? You know? Yeah. I looked behind the headboard, Scarf. No, you didn't. Shh, let this happen.
Oh, you didn't see the gun here? Then? It was definitely back there. Yeah.
Your eyes need checking.
Yeah.
Like, no, what? Scarf? No.
Right. Oh man. Yes, and then she goes to what's his wife's name? I just have Miss Cockroach written down. I forget the name of his woman. Yeah.
Abigail.
She goes to Abigail Cockroach and because her face is all beaten and bruised up again.
Yeah.
And man, like this is just a shitty situation for this character, and for every woman out there that's being physically abused. It's just a shitty thing to see. And
right, and it was harmful even to hear the things that she was claiming.
Right.
Like, there's nothing anyone can do about this. Like, I hope that's somehow eradicated later in the show, but
yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, probably not,
Well, I mean, it most definitely is by the end of this episode.
In that sense, it's eradicated. Like, well, check. There's no issue no more, lady.
Right.
Did you have life insurance? Then you got 2 checks. You're good.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Yeah. And so Misty's trying to basically tell her, look, you need to snitch on Cockroach. Tell us everything you know. And, we can put him away. And you don't have to worry about him hitting you or your son anymore. You don't have to fear for your life anymore. Like, we'll handle this.
Right.
And basically, Miss Cockroach was just saying, no, I'm not, because I am more afraid of him than anything else outside there. So she was very fearful for her life because, he beat her ass when he thought that she talked to Luke Cage.
Right.
So,
I will say this, too. She did bring up a valid point. Like, you guys put him away, but then he came back out because of one of your kind.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's a hard thing to regain trust there. Literally, you broke the trust and now you're asking her to trust you again.
Right.
Essentially. So, that's just a hard situation.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And there's no simple answer, Yeah. Definitely not. Next up, Mariah and Tilda have another conversation, and Tilda's like, either you tell me everything that's going on, or I'm going to walk and I'm not going to come back.
Yeah.
And so Mariah does. She tells her that she blackmailed Mark Higgins, that she used. She calls her Stephanie again, but, referring to the woman that she used to blackmail Mark Higgins. But,
yeah.
So we're calling her Stephanie again. It's not Billy anymore, but anyways.
Yeah. Like, they'll flip on you. Be ready for it.
Right, yeah. So she used Billy Stephanie, and she explains all this to Tilda.
Beliphany.
There we go.
There it is.
She used Beliphany to...
I love it.
Yeah, to tell... Or to extract information from Mark Higgins and to blackmail him. And apparently she even slept with Mark because there's a tape and, there's all kinds of evidence, like dirty shit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure that was the pictures we saw the episode previous. Yeah.
Right. And even then she told him that she has a tape that, and she said, when she showed Mark the tape way back in like episode 4, she said, I do have a tape of you, by the way, and I'm not talking about media takeout. I'm talking about Roll Star material. I thought it was pretty good. After that, she says that she sold off the family gun business to buy shares to acquire Atreus Plastics. The last bit of dirty business she needed to do, however, was to coerce Mark Higgins into selling or into agreeing to the merger of Atreus and Glen Industries. And that was mission accomplished. Yeah. Hence the $356 million.
Yep. Check.
Yeah. And so she explains all that to Tilda, and Tilda, she seemingly has mixed feelings about it. Like, I can't believe you would do this. By the way, that's a really smart thing, Mom. But still, you shouldn't have done this. That's really intelligent. Tell me again how you did that. I can't believe you done this, Mom.
Basically, yeah. Tilda's character at this point is...
She's supposed to come off as conflicted, but it's more confusing at times almost.
It really is, yeah. And it's... I don't know, man. It's like certain characters in this season were made for one purpose. And right now, she is a character playing a one-purpose character.
Yeah.
More so than an actual character. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I'll dig into that in a minute.
Yeah, for sure. Misty has another flashback, and this time it's when she's sitting at her desk, and she pulls out that bottle of Jameson.
I really liked this one, actually. Yeah, I liked this flashback a lot. Yeah.
Right. This one was a good one. They were just sitting down, shooting the shit, and basically,
lesser actors could not have pulled this one off.
You're right. Yeah. The guy that plays Scarf, he's a really good actor.
He is.
Yeah.
And of course, so himself the shit.
Yeah. And so is Simone Missick that plays Misty. She's also, of course, really good. One of the best in the show.
Oh yeah.
But this is a really good scene because, like, he's like, well, what we could do is, we put him in the back of the car. All we need to do is, slip a little bit of, insert drug paraphernalia.
Right.
Yeah. And then bada bing, bada boom, like we got him, and we know that he's actually slinging drugs. So I mean, this is an easy catch. And Misty gives him this look like
this mortified,
right, like are you?
I'm sorry, what just happened? Yeah.
And then he starts laughing, sly. He starts like just laughing it off, and then Misty starts laughing, almost like from relief.
But that's the thing. The way that they did it in the show, it looked so good.
It looked organic.
Good timing. Yeah. But no, it's like you think Scarf is actually telling the truth because we know he is. We know his sorry ass is like, no, we could do that. You want to do it? She obviously doesn't. She's not doing it. Let's act funny. Laughing.
Right.
Like,
because you know that this conversation, the second half, would have gone a different way had Misty been like, huh.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I think she's gone now. Let's go get that blow or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But because Misty wasn't biting, he just laughed it off and pretended like he was joking.
Right.
And Misty said, there's only one way to do it, and that's by the books. And then Scarf goes, yeah, that's right, just like I taught you. And
good officer.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I think the moral though, almost like these next couple episodes, is almost like sometimes when you're really close to somebody, you can be blinded and not see what's obviously happening.
Right. And that can be said for a lot of relations and examples in the show.
Yeah.
Really. And then I think it's also said, and it needs to be attached to that thought. A lot of the times, the people we hang out with, the people we let in, we start, becoming more like them. You know. And I think that can be reflected in some of these characters as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, especially with what happens next.
Mm-hmm. So after this, Misty, she goes to, like, the munitions locker, and she gets out this big-ass round. Was this like a Judas bullet?
I guess, but damn, that thing was big.
Yeah.
That thing was like the shit. That's like, Hellboy looked at that and said, that's a good bullet. That's my size bullet.
Yeah, that trigger was fat. That was a big ass round of whatever.
And Luke Cage is like, I took one of those. Like, hot damn, I don't want to do that again. That sucked.
Yeah, like that looks like it would blow an elephant to pieces.
Exactly. I mean, we saw that bullet hit a man in season 1 in the video showing to Cornell, and it's like, what's happening? So what? Kevlar, okay.
Right.
Oh gosh, you know, it got bad.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so she takes that big ass round, and at this point we don't know what she's gonna do with it, but she has it. The next thing we get here is the police chief. First name is Thomas. Don't really care what his last name is.
Yeah,
just
this
police
guy.
chief.
Yeah, this guy.
This is the part where he's meeting up with Comanche again, and he's telling Comanche like, look, you need to provide me with some more information, okay? Like, I didn't break you out for all this and that again. Like, you need to produce more information, more intel for me. And at this point, Comanche's like, I'm trying, but like, if I press any harder, they're going to start suspecting me that I'm doing something. And he goes, why don't you just get that other informant? Why don't you just get Ray Ray to get you more information? And so at this point where the police chief is like, who the hell is Ray Ray? I don't know no Ray Ray.
Yeah.
And so it's at this point where we're like, okay, so Ray Ray is not an informant, so where the hell is Ray Ray?
Like, the cops don't have him, and he's not with gangsters at home base, so where's the in-between?
Yeah.
The mystery. Ooh.
Mystery continues, yep. Misty, she breaks into Cockroach's home when no one is there, and she is tempted to frame Cockroach. Yeah. And she's about to plant that big-ass Judas bullet in one of his drawers.
Which, if you're going to plant evidence, do something less, like, obvious. Thank you. Yeah, because it's like, oh, of course no one checked the coffee table drawer of, like, the front entry table here.
Right.
That's an easy place. Oh, shit, we all missed it, I guess.
Well, no, I mean, because, like, the thing with Scarf, like, obviously that happened years ago.
Yeah.
But they haven't searched this place recently, so...
Oh, okay. Yeah. You know what? I'll give you that. But then it's like, wait, why the hell would he put Judas bullets, big-ass bullets, a number of them probably, in a front entry table. Like,
yeah, I agree.
At that point, put it in like the bedside table, put it in like the bedroom closet. Does that make sense? But
right. Like you make it look like it was purposely well hidden.
Exactly.
But I mean, like, she's a good cop. Maybe she just doesn't know that much about like how to think a lot like a criminal.
True. And you're right. The emotional trauma of it definitely was like distracting her from her full capacity there.
Yeah.
You know, so I'll give them that, but lesson to be taught people.
Yeah. She right before she plants the evidence, though, she sees a blood trail, and so she puts the evidence back in her pocket. She doesn't decide to go through with it, and she follows this blood trail that leads to
her headless husband.
Well, not her husband. Well, her real life husband. There you go.
But yes, a headless cockroach.
Yeah, a headless cockroach. This cockroach could not live 7 days without his head. So, what I imagine happened was that Bushmaster...
His limbs were not kicking.
Bushmaster broke into his home,
Yep.
and Bushmaster was speaking all the kind of shit like, okay, you know, you, because you work so closely with Mariah, I'm going to have to kill you. I'm going to cut your head off. And Cockroach was like, go ahead. I'm Cockroach. You didn't know? I can survive this.
Oh, my gosh.
And then come to find out he could not. So,
like, the beginning of the cut in, he starts, oh gosh, I lied. I can't survive this.
This is a terrible mistake.
I immediately regret this decision.
Right. But I guess on a more serious note, like semi-serious, one question I do have, that was a big-ass blood trail. Yeah. So did they kill Cockroach, like, by that drawer and then drag him?
I imagined they killed him maybe in, like, the bedroom or something. Or maybe he was in the bathroom even. Like, they just killed him in the bathroom, cut off the head, and then dragged the body to the couch at that point. I don't know.
Yeah. I was just curious because like it wasn't like they killed him where he was when she found him because there was a blood trail.
Yeah. Plus that was nowhere near enough of a blood trail beginning there to be like, oh look, a head was severed. That was more like my finger was cut blood, you know? Like
it was a little bit more than that.
It was a bit more than that. Like especially as she followed it and like went along the rug and stuff, there was a lot more. That's more like my hand was cut off.
And I have not decided to wrap it up yet.
Exactly. I'm just trailing through my house.
Right. And so this next scene we get here is Mariah. She has the big press conference out there and she's getting all excited and she's getting ready to unveil the Family First Clinic. Everybody's there and it's going to be this grand old time.
The news is there. There's even a big red ribbon.
Yep. She cuts the ribbon and she opens up the doors and wouldn't you know it, right there on Pikes, we have the head of Roach, Ray, and Mark Higgins.
Okay, admittedly, this was super gruesome, but it was cool.
It was. Like, it was very cool.
It was very cool. Yeah, like, oh shit. This is a story right here. Okay.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I thought that was very well done.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, dang.
Right. And this next scene that we get here, I really surmise is all of them to like one mini paragraph just because. So it's Piranha, you know, his big old party bash thing.
This was a little slow for me.
Yeah, a little bit it was. I mean, we get the cool Ghostface Killer cameo. That was great.
Awesome.
Hearing him spit some bars. It was super awkward hearing Foggy be like, hey, wow, is that Ghostface Killer? I was like, you need to never say that again. That was so awkward.
Well, the actor himself portrayed it better than that, luckily. He didn't sound as white, you know? He sounded kind of white, but not pale white, okay? Okay, damn it.
Oh, man. Piranha, he's parading Luke around, you know, and Luke is had it, like, with all this shit, like... there's some drunk ass college guy out soon broke a bottle over Luke's head.
I would have busted that face.
Oh my gosh.
He would have gone home faceless.
Would have knocked his face off of his face.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. There would have been like no face man left. Right. Like nothing left there. Shit. You would have been the new Worcester, man. Yeah. But yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so Luke was not having it at all. And then, like, eventually, Piranha, he invites a guest. He invites Luke up to the stage, pulls out a gun, and asked if anyone would like to take a shot at Luke. And Luke was like, "Are you fucking stupid? Like, that's going to ricochet and it's going to hit somebody else."
Yep.
I guess what's really a little surprising is that it's at this point where Piranha's like, "Do you want the money, Luke?" And then Luke's kind of like, "Oh, all right." And
he's got Luke in a vice, but I don't think he ever said, "Okay, yeah."
He was going to let that. He stopped resisting.
He did stop resisting. He just kind of like stood there and just kept having everything come in. Like he was just inputting everything at that point, and he wasn't like actually fighting it. Like, no, grab the gun, bend it,
right? Which is what I feel that Luke would have done.
Exactly. Like season 1, Luke would have been like, "Oh hell no, bend gun, we're not doing this shit."
Yeah, like money or not. Like I feel that Luke would have found another way. Spoiler alert, he has to.
Yeah. True.
But no, just the fact that he was kind of like, he just kind of set back from it. I was a little surprised by that. Didn't matter. Someone else in the audience takes a shot at Luke anyway. A couple of Bushmaster's goons. Now, this part is still really confusing because I guess they haven't gotten the memo yet that you cannot shoot Luke Cage.
Yeah, no, this part was weird because we already had, and we talked about this in previous episodes past, but we already had the scene where the Jamaicans, like, attack/interview Luke and, like, see what the shit he's capable of. Literally, like, in, like, a turn order, like, he's answering questions like, do you dodge bullets? Yes, okay. Do you get cut by machetes? No. Do I bend baseball bats? Oh, yes, I shatter them, actually. Oh, impressive. You know? So it's like, at this point, let's try to shoot him. Okay, that's a good idea. Yeah. You're right. Like, that's just dumb shit. Like, what are we doing here?
Exactly. I mean, so I'm not really sure what their purpose was here because their whole purpose was to capture Piranha. So maybe they figured that, like, 2 of them would work as decoys while the other ones snatch up Piranha.
Admittedly, the bullet is a great decoy, and that's the only thing I could have fathomed as well.
Right.
You know, I mean...
also, I forgot to mention, Shades was also there, and he and Luke have, like, a really cool brief exchange.
Yeah. You do parties now?
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Yeah. Shades had some okay lines in these episodes. He does.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm liking Shades more and more. Like, from episode really... Well, this entire season, I've liked him a whole lot more than I ever thought I would.
Okay.
Cool. But yeah, especially as the episodes go on, like he gets more progression for his character. He gets like more other things to do. So it's really fun to see him like actually have a character to portray now.
Yeah.
Luke, he's able to stop the car that the goons snatch up Piranha in. He rescues Piranha. And it's at this point where Luke tells Piranha that his price has doubled. So it's $300,000 now.
Which, hell yeah, go Luke.
Oh, yeah. That's the way to do it.
You make that money. Yeah.
Right, yeah. You are now officially a hero for hire.
Yep.
So, yeah.
You did it.
Oh, yeah. So that's episode 205. Oh, yeah. And, like that episode really... I thought that this episode was better than I initially thought it was going to be. Because even though this episode did have very little as far as like plot progression overall,
right?
It was still more entertaining than what a typical Netflix filler episode feels like.
True. There were a lot more cool moments given to us here.
Right.
Yeah. Like, well, we already talked about it. Cool.
Yeah. Moving on here, episode 206 is The Basement, and that was directed by Millicent Shelton. This episode starts off right where 205 left off. Wouldn't you believe it?
What?
Yeah.
My gosh.
Luke and Piranha, they run through like this parking garage and get up to the roof. There's still a bunch of Bushmaster's goons looking for Piranha and Luke, specifically Piranha, really.
Yeah.
And Luke throws Piranha's sorry ass over to another rooftop, and then Luke takes down the goons, and he himself makes it over to safety as well.
Piranha was a fly fish.
You can go home now.
I'm done. You're right. I have to go fix this. I thought of that one when I first saw that scene. So you can imagine how long I was holding on to that one, waiting for this setup right here.
Oh, I'm glad you don't feel the need to hold that in anymore. I'm glad that,
You're right.
That anxiety's gone now.
There's like a burden gone, man. Like, shit. I'm wearing pauldrons and now they just fell off. It's so freeing.
Well, yep. Oh, man. Bushmaster, he tells his goons to keep searching for Luke. Like, you better find him. Like, I don't care what you feel like you can or can't do. You will find him. He wanted them to be Emperor Zod. I will find him. No.
Now, all of you, say the quote. I will find him. Okay, good.
No,
now you.
Now say it not like a Jamaican. Say it like Michael Shannon said it in the movie.
All of them. How do we do that?
How do we American?
Exactly. Like, how long have we been here? But
Right.
No.
Oh man. Comanche says that or it's at this point where Comanche and Shays have a conversation again because earlier Mariah was really not having any of this shit. She feels like there is a snitch among them, and because there's some things that the police captain knew, which how the hell did he know those things?
Well, she's not wrong.
She is not wrong.
Yep.
Unfortunately, she stabs the wrong guy in the hand.
Right. and like, there are certain things at this point I wish they didn't do, really. And I don't know who to blame for this, be it the creative producer, the director. I don't care who gets the blame, but just, I wish they wouldn't do things like this where... And it's a little thing, really, where it's obvious setup in this scene where it's like, okay, I know someone is snitching. I don't know who it is, but someone's talking to the cops, and she's telling them in this room. Very similar to an old scene in season 1, actually, really. Not about the same subject matter, but you get it.
Yep.
Anyways, and she's doing the same type of shit where she's like monologuing herself, and she's doing it. The camera cuts away, and this was the part I wish they didn't do, and maybe this was the actual actor's fault, but... Comanche did this jaw thing, the classic tightening, flexing of the jaw, where it was a classic psychological, oh shit, I did something wrong, and I know I did it wrong. Like, that's cool and cute, and you can get away with that in like CSI quality TV, but this is better quality TV,
right? I didn't have a problem with it because, I mean, that's...
Again, it's such a small thing.
It is.
But we've seen it so many times. And at this point...
have, but it's a double-edged sword because I feel like you're damned if you don't do it. Like, oh, this guy is so cool under pressure that we see no signs of his disloyalty.
I mean, I'm not saying give me something new.
Right.
I don't demand that is everything I watch, whatever. But don't rehash the old techniques and whatnot, especially in a room where she's blatantly looking at all of you. Like, someone would have noticed, did no one see this man just now? He's obviously tense. And all of us are just like, man, whatever, background actors. But look at this guy.
Yeah.
I
mean, I guess it's a double-edged sword.
I
feel like you're really damned either way with material like that.
And again, that's more me. I hate watching old shit, and that's just an old technique. It really is. So that's a factoid of Kevin, So again, that's me finding old shit. Yeah.
Later on, Comanche and Chase are having a conversation amongst one another, and it's really at this point where we as an audience began to suspect that Shades is suspecting Comanche.
Right.
But Shades, man, he plays it really cool because, like, it leaves us still questioning, like, do you know?
Exactly. Yeah. And I gotta say, at this point, I already didn't mind Shades in season 1. I thought he was a cool part. There was something there. And I know you disagree with me. Sure. I get that. That's freeing. But... in this season, you're right, we see a lot more of that development, and here, I like that. This is where the chemistry really played towards Shade's advantage, you know? Yeah.
Because, like, man, Shades was really, like, especially, like, in retrospect, after seeing episodes 6 and 7, like, looking back at this moment, you can almost say that, Shades could have just been really fucking with Comanche. But like, you really should look at the race. See if Ray did it, or just entertaining Comanche as Comanche tries his best to pull the wool over Shade's eyes.
Right. Mm-hmm. While at the same time, I'm sure a smidge of him was even hoping that it wasn't Comanche, that he was finally wrong about this type of thing,
Yeah,
but,
that too.
Yeah.
In reference to Mariah, Comanche says it's time that you cut the bitch loose. Like, you're the one that knows this business. You're the one that knows how it's ran.
Comanche is all about Shades, man.
Yeah. That's his guy. That's his guy. So I mean, that's, I guess, gotta be for your guy.
Yeah.
And it's at this point where Shades is like, well, I don't know about all that, but we do need to find Luke Cage and we do need to find Piranha. And so it's at this point where they go to the back, open up this sealed compartment, and there are more of those big ass modified shotguns. I know, right? So they stock up and
this part was cool.
I like it. Yeah.
They say some cool shit here, like their little pseudo catchphrase, their little bro phrase, like rivals. We ain't got none.
Yeah,
like
we
that's
have none. Yeah,
we
that was
have
cool.
none. That's cool.
I like that
Mine
too.
was more ghetto. Yeah, we ain't got none. Double negative. We have none. I like that more. But anyways, yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's at this point now where it's being revealed to Misty, because she's talking to the police captain now. They have Mariah in the holding cell. That he says, unless the gang war is handled within 48 hours, the National Guard will intervene. And I don't know how much of this was just to tell us like the dire situation of the Yardies and Bushmasters,
sure,
and the other in Mariah's group. But I do wonder, like, within the show's time frame, like, is this going to be handled in 2 days? And if not, will the National Guard roll up? Because, like, I feel like you really shouldn't put that type of dialogue in here unless, you can follow through with it. So
yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Did not think about that.
Yeah. So it's at this point where the captain, he begins to question. He begins to question Mariah. He questions her with some really good shit, actually. Like,
he does, yeah.
Yeah, so how did you stumble upon Cockroach again? Why were you there?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. And it's pretty cool because this is good questions.
Yeah. Can I admit something here? I'm not entirely sure how I feel about old Commander here yet. The police chief. I mean, he's had some off moments and he had some on moments with me. This is one of his best moments.
This is one of, because he shows competence here.
He does. He shows. It was interesting how they played it out, because it begins and he just seems to be like old besties with her, and then like this is pissing off Misty in the back. But then she leaves and he continues on, and that's when the good shit comes in. Like, okay, so Cockroach this, how'd you get the money that, and good questions, Right. So it's kind of like, okay, but I'm yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's harder for me to get behind the character. Really.
Yeah, I mean, me too, because like he's almost bipolar in his actions.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Thank you. But,
yeah. So I agree. Like it's. You never know which commander you're gonna get.
Right, and the shit he has a problem with is like, okay, rolling my eyes, shut your mouth, character. You're done. Get off screen.
Exactly. I mean, because
give me more Misty.
Yeah, exactly. Give us more Misty. Because as we're about to find out, like he's the one that got Comanche out of jail as an informant. But he also has this weird quasi relationship with Mariah.
Yeah, like he's
and it's like, what are you trying to orchestrate here? Because you're trying to get information on her, but she's also an old friend, and you're trying to get her off. You don't want her to go to jail. Like, what? I don't know what.
Like who? Okay, and the way I look at it, the way I've understood this, and I might be breaking format here and digging into future shit, but let me please. So here's the deal, guys. Let me get away with this. He's using Comanche as a chess piece format. He's saying, you are going to be my informant and you're going to give me shit on Mariah. So that's moving up to a bigger chess piece. You're moving up to the queen there, right? You went from pawn to queen. You skipped a few, but that's cool. Whatever. Who cares? Now, we've had evidence where he's talking about using her as an informant for other bigger fish. Who's the bigger fish? Who's the other target? Like, what do you have? Who does she have?
Right.
You know? Who's the ultimate enemy in his court here? That's the shit that's, like, not written well at all. That's the stuff that's like, what are you doing? You can't cut her a deal, you know? And that's the one where I'm like, okay, flip my card on him. He's whatever. And
I guess, like, continuing to break the format a little bit, like, we find out later on that, like, he's really, he knows that Mariah is guilty of a lot of shit, but he's trying to give her a way out by saying, look, you can put all this on Shades.
Exactly.
And so, I mean, I feel like that's the out that he was trying to get from her.
Like, he really is a worse cop than Scarf.
He is, yeah.
I mean
he's pretty damn shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, so you get this prisoner out of jail, like, unjustly.
Yeah.
And then you try to cut a deal with, like, this criminal mastermind who runs underground Harlem.
Right.
You know, so, and just because she was your crush back in high school.
Yeah, just because you held hands and,
in
like,
high school.
And maybe okay, this part I won't break into. We'll talk about that in the future.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Bring back the old police chief from season 1, man. Bring her back up in here.
Yeah, she was a lot better than this.
She was competent.
Yeah.
And you know, good at the job. Whatever. Right. Man, I'm done complaining.
Yeah.
I'm not, but I
am. Yeah, so the police captain, it's revealed that, like we just discussed, he and Mariah used to, I guess, kind of date in high school, and they're kind of old buds, and he asks you questions about, he asks you all kinds of questions, you know, like the typical questions that you should ask about Ray, about Nigel, about Mark Higgins, about Arturo, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. He polices.
Yeah, he polices, you know, he asks her all that, and she denies, you know, everything, you know, obviously that's what you should do, and I mean, because she knows how to cover her front. Like the ones that she has made public appearances with, she admits to those public appearances,
right,
and nothing more. But those that, you know, have just been inside Harlem's paradise, she's like, well, I'm not the doorman. I don't know everybody that comes in here.
Like, she knows this both as a politician and actually a pretty just well blessed crook.
Yeah,
that, you know, she can get away with whatever she wants. You know? Yeah.
That you have no evidence. You have nothing to support, like, any kind of criminal claim.
Yeah.
And then it's at this point where the police captain, he's like, well, you're not a suspect. You're a witness to the murders. So I just want to get your information. And then she's like, oh, I'm not even a suspect? Oh, so I can go. And then she proceeds to leave.
You're right.
You know,
yeah.
So, I mean, it's obvious that this guy does not want to lock her up.
Right. I mean, he does proceed to ask her some pretty good questions, but that's it. You know? Damn police chief.
Yeah.
What's his name? Do you know his name?
Thomas? I don't know what his last name
something
is.
Like that. Thomas.
Yeah.
Chief Thomas.
Yeah, because she calls him Tommy at one point, and then we hear Misty call him Thomas another time, and so. Moving on. Shades and Comanche, they search the barbershop, and then they pull up chairs back to back, and they wait there. And they have a cool conversation.
Yeah, this was a very character developing conversation on both of their parts.
Both of their parts, yeah.
Wow. Did not see some of this coming. But it made sense when it happened.
It did,
like,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Wow.
And especially, going back and watching this scene after seeing the events of this episode and the next episode, it really does put things into perspective, hearing a lot of things that Shade said. And then hearing the things that Comanche said, it's a really fun scene to watch about these two not letting their guard down per se, but really just kind of talking about the things that help them fall into place.
In a sense, opening up.
Right. Yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed that, and it was the scene that they both needed.
Yeah.
Let's see. Misty has dinner with the former police consultant. And because he's a former police consultant, everything that Misty tells him is off the record.
I do like this actor too. I don't know his name, but the only thing I saw him in before this, really, I saw him in like a couple of the TV spots, sure, but the big project was Rescue Me, the TV show, and you knew I was a fan of that.
Right,
it was gritty, it was Dennis Leary and whatnot, and his comedy struck a chord with me at that time.
Right.
This guy was in that show for a very long time, and I like the stuff there too. He's cool with me.
Good stuff.
And here, I think the conversation they have is just great.
It is, yeah. Also, like, I couldn't make out exactly the food that they had, but the food looked amazing.
It did,
yeah.
Like, it looked like they had, like, some kind of meat and greens plate with, like...
Yeah, it just...
Yeah.
I think there's like a layer of cheese on top of his plate. I don't remember, and I remember thinking like, I don't know what that is, but I want it.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we were watching hungry.
Maybe so. As a matter of fact, I think I may have been eating a steak while I was done. I don't know.
Well, that makes sense. In that case, you're just in the restaurant watching the conversation. You're just like eating alone, just like, well, how am I going to entertain myself during this dinner? Oh, here we got a conversation. What's going on with Mrs. Fro and Fat Guy, huh? Eating your steak.
That sounds like a bad cartoon, Mrs. Fro and Fat Guy.
It really does. Yeah.
Oh, man. But no, like you said, they did have a really cool conversation here. She basically tells him what she planned to do with the evidence, and she's really frank and upfront with it.
Yeah.
And
so is he, actually.
Yeah. And you know, she goes, well, this is what I did, and I'm probably going to get fired for it. And he goes, well, yeah, you probably should.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, no bullshitting around. Like,
right.
No. You're getting a 3/4 pension with no tax. I mean,
yeah, I'll give my right arm for that.
Yeah. I mean, dadgum, dude.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That was good. Bushmaster's uncle and him have a really cool conversation also in the next scene where Uncle Master is like, he's trying to talk sense into his nephew, you know, it's like, you really gotta learn like to pick your battles. Like if you want to kill Mariah, that's fine, kill Mariah.
Yeah.
But everything else you're doing is just, you're dragging our name through the mud. Which is the opposite of what Bushmaster's trying to do, but he's not really understanding his uncle.
Right, yeah, they're both coming from different point of views, really. Mm-hmm. The uncle here is another character I have like a wishy-washy relation with. I love the dynamic between him and Bushmaster. It's humanizing Bushmaster.
Yep.
It's showing us some awesome sides to him, and I love that so much. It's making Bushmaster great.
Yeah.
I love Master's point of view here, where he's kind of like mirroring, but really showing Bushmaster what he really is, while saying, well, this is what you're really doing, buddy. You know, like that, for example, what you just said. That all being said, put that on a big silver platter, on bronze over here, dirty and stained, that's like his only job as a character. Like, he doesn't really get much else. And that's...
Right. I mean, I guess I don't have too big of an issue with that, just because that's kind of the purpose of side characters, is to fill those type things.
True. And I mean, it's not a big issue.
Right.
I mean, trust me, I got big issues now. Okay, this is just like an observation I made when it's like, okay, so if this character died, the only one affected would be Bushmaster. Yeah. And, of course, the other Jamaican side characters in, like, the restaurant scenery and whatnot. Right. Yes, of course. But aside from them, you know? So...
Yeah, you know, I mean, like, once again, like, that's just kind of the purpose of side characters, because you have to create a character that can fill the void that needs to be filled and serve that kind of purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, like every character can have like a 5-star arc where like everything comes full circle, and then they have this.
True.
You know,
and it's not like I'm expecting, you know, Netflix to open up a sideshow and say Uncle Master. You know, like that he gets his own theme and everything. Yeah. The first reggae opening, but no, I'm not asking for that. Right. But I mean...
Because, I mean, like, he doesn't have enough screen time for him to develop anything else. So it's like, what would you have him do?
True. You know, I mean, it's... At this point, it's just like...
I mean, your problem with this character, it's the same problem I had with Shades in season 1. Except Shades had the screen time to do more. This character, I mean, he is here to serve this one purpose, but like,
the thing is, every time he's on screen, he's great.
Oh yeah,
and so maybe that's a mouthpiece. I'm gonna use that. Maybe I just want to see him a little bit more. You know, understand that, and that's cool. But I will say this though.
Yeah.
The things they're asking this character to do, his, you know, quote unquote purpose as a side character here.
Yeah.
He's doing it greatly, you know?
Yeah,
and he's feeling that role and then some.
Right.
Yeah, he is an overflowing root beer float, you know? It's great. Yeah.
And that is sticky. He is a very sticky man.
Wait a minute. I don't know if he's sticky. Come on, man.
Oh, man. But yeah, this is a really good conversation though, because Bushmaster, he's proud of what he's doing.
Yeah.
But Uncle MacIver is like, no, like you're not honoring your mother. You're not honoring.
Wait, which scene is this? Is this the one with the suit?
No, this is the scene.
Yet.
Like the scene previous to this has been like on the news where they were in the restaurant.
This is the one where he's like privately with them, like another man would have ripped off a head for what you said. Yeah.
That scene.
That another good scene.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man! Both of these guys, they need to return. Luke Cage 3, Bushmaster 2.
Bushmaster 2. That's a confusing title.
It really is. You're welcome.
Next up, drunk Mariah is drunk, and she has like a mini breakdown.
Yeah.
And at this point, she almost feels like she's all alone because Tilda's not answering the phone. Shades isn't answering the phone.
There's one confusing point in this scene. I don't know what happened here. Yeah. So please let me know. It's so little. It doesn't matter.
Gotcha.
But it bothers me. She goes into the room. She pours drink. She walks around with phone in hand calling Tilda. No reaction. Hangs up. Sits down on couch with drink. Calls Erdogan. Also, Shades. Yeah. No reaction. Voicemail message and whatnot. Throws phone, right? Throws phone, not drink, but phone. Right?
Yeah.
So in these times, did we see her drink A at all? Do you remember? Like, maybe she sipped it once, but like, did she ever like sip it a lot when she's doing? I mean, I don't know. I don't think she did. I'm pretty sure she didn't, because she's just waiting to actually talk on the phone. So why would you drink knowing you're about to talk? Thinking you're about to talk, at least. I mean, but then the problem I have with that, not a second later, Mr. Alex, the assistant, comes in and she says,
pour me a drink. Yeah.
So it's like, wait, what happened to drink A?
Right.
What? Again, it's so little. It bothers me.
That is pretty trivial. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty trivial. That is the podcast equivalent of pettiness.
Okay, wait a minute, damn it, wait a minute.
I don't know. You may be right. I don't know.
Okay,
I'll have to go back and check.
That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted here.
Yep.
Just saying. But I watched this scene so many times now in preparation for this podcast. Like, so what happened to the drink? Do you just have 2 vodkas right there in front of you? Is that what we're doing today? I mean, it's that kind of day. It's that kind of day. But whatever. Yep. Let's move on. I'm spending way too much time. Like I said, such little bullshit.
Yeah. But she does say some really good stuff in this scene here. She says that she drinks to like what she say to love
and trust
screw them both.
Yeah. Notice Alex didn't drink.
Yeah. And then essentially she says that she can trust no one but her enemy, no one but Luke Cage, and I thought that was a pretty cool realization for her to come to.
Yeah, I mean, Luke Cage is the one protecting her money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus the old philosophy.
Yeah. And then the next scene we get here is also really good. We get Piranha, and he's telling Luke about his parents. And this is a really cool moment for Piranha. Like, this character
was redeeming.
This character that I thought was going to be one note turned out to have to have more layers to him, to be really multifaceted. So this is kind of cool. We learned that Piranha, his mother was like the best hooker that was in Harlem, basically, that worked for Mama Mabel.
Yeah.
And that this banker fell in love with his mom. But of course, this banker had a family on the side, so he would never leave his family to be with this hooker. And of course, as soon as hooker mom got knocked up with little Piranha, out of context, this is a very weird.
That sounds so weird. I was just thinking that. Out of context. The hooker had a baby Piranha? Like, what?
So the banker got with the hooker mama that had a baby Piranha? And, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
what
so
are we doing?
The banker left, and he didn't meet his father until much later. And come to find out, he goes and one day he actually meets with his father. His father is still a very wealthy, well-to-do man at this point, but the father had security escort him out immediately. Don't want anything to do with Piranha.
Yeah.
But once Piranha is able to, set a foothold for himself and work his way up through Wall Street and all that, and then get his money and get his business in order. His father had lost everything in the mortgage crisis, probably I assume the crisis of 2008. And then the father kind of comes to Piranha groveling, and Piranha's like, nope. And he said that it didn't do anything for him, but it was still really satisfying to see. But not as satisfying as like paying off his mom's house and doing all these other little things for his mother. And
That's
so like
good.
yeah, that was good. It was because it just goes to show that like yes, Piranha is a scumbag, but like people in reality aren't so black and white. And
Exactly. People become scumbags for a reason. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. We see how and why Piranha became the way that he is, and it really shows another side of him that was really cool for that character. Yeah. One that I didn't expect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One that even connected with Luke Cage on a level.
It did, yeah, because he began to ask Luke about his family, about his dad.
It was interesting how that ended, actually, and I thought, and this isn't to make fun of Rosa from earlier, but Piranha even ends his with like, you need to go see your dad, and it's like everybody's trying to either speak the language of the universe or be the most pestering people Luke Cage can think of,
right? Yeah.
It kind of like, depending on your point of view, goes between the two, but yeah.
And it's like I don't disagree with either one of them, Piranha or Claire.
Sure.
It's just the way that they go about it makes you really see things from Luke's perspective more.
Right. I will say this. I think I'm hoping that was done on purpose. 2, I liked Piranha's approach better. That's just that. That's
well,
just,
it's also because Piranha didn't push the issue.
No.
Damn Claire, man. She was just like, every time Luke came home, just pushing that same button. Go see your father. Go see your father. Go see your father.
She was that auto update, man.
Right.
Go see your dad. Go see dad. Remind me in 15. Go see dad. Remind me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While Luke is on the phone with Misty, the goons come in and they take Piranha. They're pretty damn stealthy because Luke doesn't hear a damn thing.
I know, right? This just suddenly came upon us. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Luke rescues Piranha in a pretty awesome fight scene, and even Piranha says as much.
Piranha's reaction was dope. He's just like, oh shit, oh okay,
that was great, man.
Yeah, just like really digging it. Like, you punched him through a wall.
Yeah, that he did.
Yeah,
surely that guy's dead. thinking about it now.
Well,
like
I'm sure as he's lying in the shrapnel, he's just sitting there thinking to himself, this hurts. I wish I was dead. Yeah.
Well, I mean, first of all, to get punched by Luke Cage in the sternum.
Yep.
That's a broken sternum.
That's broken sternum and possibly a few ribs.
Yeah, possibly a few ribs.
Yeah.
Hopefully nothing's punctured. And then you not only hit the wall.
That itself is a gamble. Yeah. Okay. But then
you not only hit the wall, but you go through the bitch.
Yep. And even though it was a thin wall, it's still a wall.
It's still a wall.
It's still like wooden wall, Old it may have been, wood it was.
And, like, we're talking about somebody that can tap you on the head and knock you out.
I love how he does that.
He does, yeah. That is pretty cool. But then, like, it's just hard to reconcile, like, even the slightest of punch from somebody that can do that would end a person.
Right. Like, literally, there's too much power behind that punch.
Yeah.
Like, your momentum is going. You're still going after the punch has been done. You're still going, and then you stop somewhere between wall or bench or chair, and you're on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. Done.
Absolutely.
So, at that point, when Luke did that, you're right, man. I mean, that guy... It's like how Batman ends some of his fights, playing which Arkham was it? Where he's like, he has the electric field on his Batmobile, so when you hit people, it doesn't actually kill them. It just like stuns, shoots them off. Like, okay, you can't tell me that guy is not dead.
Possibly. I will say this: if anyone Batman has the capability more to ensure the survival of his opponents versus Luke Cage.
Right.
Truth bomb.
True. But both of them have like an accidental death tally.
Oh, they all do.
Yeah.
Captain America does. Like, they all do. Good grief, they all do. So the next scene is Misty. She tells the captain what she planned to do at Cargorsh's home, and the captain's like, "Oh, okay. Well, we just got to move past it now."
Yeah, like
what's done is done.
Okay, this is another part that really irritated me, and this one is actually a big deal. So this whole season, he's getting on her ass for this and this and that and that, and mostly about Luke Cage. Sure, that's a whole nother subject, but getting on her ass for all these things. And then all of a sudden, this comes across where she actually did something pretty horrid as a police officer, an upholder of the shield and the law and all that justice bullshit. And then, oh, okay, well, we're going to work past it. You're staying on the force. What is that? What bipolar person are you? You said it perfectly earlier when he was bipolar, because he is.
Yeah. I think if I had to play devil's advocate, because you do
please do.
But if I had to, I would say that's because when Misty was getting in trouble with him earlier, it was with things directly interfering with Mariah and things that could directly go back to Mariah.
Which, of course, interrupts him and his little crush or whatever.
Whatever that is. Yeah.
He was the real villain of the show.
Him and his indecisiveness.
Exactly. Which chief am I talking to? Damn it.
Right. I got the douchebag one today again.
Exactly.
But yeah, Misty, she turns in her gun and badge, and she's like, "Nope, I'm out of here."
Yep.
Luke takes Piranha to Reverend James's church to hide out. Reverend James, once again, it's really great to see him again. I will say this though, as much as I do love him in this episode and in the following episode. It's almost like he's not different, but his approach has definitely softened a lot since the last time that they spoke.
Yeah.
Not Luke's, but Reverend's. Like
I don't know what that is. It's like they didn't think that the character himself would fully look at it from Luke's point of view. Like whenever he tried to do the meeting with Luke and knowing, hey, you're my son, but you're the super freak now.
Right.
It's like they didn't think to write in how the character could ever somehow comprehend his son's point of view from those experiences. And like, oh shit, my son actually had a pretty adverse reaction to the things that I've done to these things. Like, oh, okay.
Right.
So instead we get like, he comes in boisterous and like, look, you're my son. We're going to do it like this.
Yeah.
And then his son actually reacts. Like, oh, you have a reaction? Well, shit, I thought you were just going to follow me home. Oh, okay. You're still an actual human being. Oh, what am I going to do now? And I think that is kind of more what we got, really. Where it's like, I don't know what you call that. It's like writing to fit the bill,
right.
or whatever, but...
Yeah. I mean, once again, like I thought it was a great scene. I guess I just wish that maybe we had gotten just one scene earlier showing the Reverend realizing that he needed to change his approach.
Right. And little cutesy moments with Claire talking about Titanic is not enough to cut it.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, that led me in the other direction. Like when Claire accidentally name dropped Luke.
Yeah.
He had this look in his face, and I'm thinking, he's
got like a plot.
Right.
Rather than let me think this differently. Yeah. It's here it is. It's jarring.
There it goes.
There it goes. One episode. That's our first T-shirt.
Oh shit. Oh man, but yeah. So after Luke takes Piranha to Reverend James, Luke. This is I think this is my favorite part of the episode. Luke calls up Bushmaster.
Yes.
Using one of the goons' phones, he calls up Bushmaster. And because at first I was like, how the hell does Luke have?
I know, right? He's just scrolling his phone, like, oh look, I got Bushmaster in my contacts. No big deal.
He's in my favorites list. Yeah,
the cloud is amazing.
But it was a phone of
a goon.
Of one of the goons, and he uses that to call up Bushmaster. And I really like their conversation here over the phone. And but basically, Luke challenges Bushmaster to a fight. Of course, it had to be at a bridge.
Yep.
At high noon. And I love how Bushmaster.
I love that. Yeah. High noon. I love them cowboy movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if Bushmaster wins, he gets Piranha. If Luke wins, then Bushmaster has to leave Harlem alone and just go somewhere else. And honestly, I thought that this is where the episode was going to end. And I just knew that the next episode was going to be all about the lead up. And then at the end of the next episode, we were going to get the fight.
That would have been so slow.
It would have been.
Oh my god!
But it's not unlike these Netflix shows.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Fortunately, though, they go the other way. And they give us the fight right here, right now. Like the next scene is the fight. They meet up on the bridge.
Bushmaster changed clothes and he's just like, all right, time to kick some Cage ass. You know? Yeah.
They have a really, really great verbal exchange. I really enjoyed it here, about how, once again, a difference of perspective, ultimately, yes, Bushmaster, he is pretty psychotic, cutting people's heads off.
Yeah, that's not right.
And killing, so many people. And even like his uncle said to him earlier, like, all this carnage is unnecessary. But no, so they do have the fight. And, without him sucker punching Luke Cage, he's having a harder time.
Yeah, that's true. Like, he's getting some hits in the beginning, and then the middle of the fight happens, and Luke Cage is getting the upper hand.
Right.
It's good.
It
was fun to watch.
It was.
You see some actual technique in there, too, coming from Luke. Rather than stand, brute force, stand, brute force. Because that was all defenders. You know?
Yeah.
In this one, he's actually, like, trying to flip and get a hold on him. Yeah, it was good.
Because, like, essentially, fighting Bushmaster is almost like, okay, I don't have superpowers. So
basically,
like my superpowers are nullified.
This is another street fight. Yeah.
So I have to find a different way to take this guy down. I can't just, I can't hit him on the head and then knock him out.
Yeah.
But no, looks like Luke Cage is winning the fight, man, and ultimately looks like he's going to win it until Bushmaster pulls out that damn. He pulls out that 1980s wrestling bad guy powder from his pocket and blows.
That's a hell of a title.
That's exactly what it reminded me of.
That's what the bag said when he bought it?
Yeah, it said,
1980s wrestling bad guy powder.
That's exactly what it said. It's like, I could use some of this.
Bushmaster. Yeah, okay, this is good shit.
Yeah.
Here's another 20, girl. Thanks.
Yeah, you use this, when the good guy's making this comeback and it looks like he's going to win, then you use this and you're able to topple the good guy that way and get the dirty finish.
Yeah, kick him in the river.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's what happens. He blows this powder into Luke Cage's face and it paralyzes him. And then he does something that's pretty damn smart. He kicks him off and into the river.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, that sucks for Luke.
It sucks, but I mean, hey, your boy, clutched the win in the end.
Yep.
Yeah.
At the end of this episode, what I had for in my notes was that this once again was not a real truly plot heavy episode, but it was a really good character study. And so I think that this was a really needed episode for the season.
Yeah.
They do have 13 episodes to tell their story, but there is a difference between building the plot and building your characters. And so this was a time that they kind of hit the brakes on the plot some, but really gave us more character development with some of our side characters.
Right.
So I thought that was a pretty good thing they did here.
That was the end of 6.
End of 206. Ready to talk about 207?
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.
This one is called On and On. We haven't really talked about like the name of these episodes and what they imply.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to go through and pay more attention to that. Yeah.
Right. This was directed by Rashad Green or Ernesto Green. Ernesto Green. Yep.
Cool.
But yeah, On and On. I can't think of why this would be called On and On, but I don't know. Maybe throughout this discussion, we'll be able to come to some kind of conclusion.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Once again, this one picks it right where the last one left off.
Our boy is not swimming.
He is sinking like a stone, like a heavy ass stone.
Yep.
And he's having flashbacks of past events, like when he first got locked up, and we see his mom for the first time.
Yeah.
And we see his dad being a dick.
His dad was a super dick.
Yeah. I mean, even going so far as to blaming the mother's death on Luke. The mother never gave up on Luke, never gave up hope when Luke said that I didn't do this. The father just basically condemned him. I mean, it really gives more fuel for us to see why Luke has those resentments towards his dad.
Right.
But then he hears his father say, "Wake up," to Luke. And Luke comes to and he swims to the shore. Then later on, he makes it to the church and he collapses, passes out.
Convenient.
Yep, very much so. Well, at least he made it there, I suppose.
True. It would have been a weirder story if he passed out in front of a bagel shop, I guess.
I guess so, yeah. And then, like, the bagel man has to drag him to the church and, like, hey, is this your son?
Exactly. It's like, oh, well, how'd you know to come to this church? I don't know.
Just thought it was the right thing to do. This is a place.
Is there ever a wrong time for church, Reverend? Come on, don't let me do your job.
Right. And also, Reverend, you're always here. Do you live here, Reverend?
This is true. Like, seriously. I bet you he probably does, yeah. But
he could,
yeah, just upstairs, like, you know, the chapel.
Right. How long has he been here? Is he renting this church building? Like, you know.
Why not? Sure. Yeah, totally.
Okay.
It's rented. It's a rental.
Oh, shit. Anyways, when Luke wakes up, Reverend James tells Luke that Piranha has left the building. Piranha is no longer here. Piranha said he's going to get on a private jet, get the hell out of town. I don't blame Piranha at all.
No, I mean, seriously, if I had a private jet, I'd be doing the same.
Yeah.
Let's leave New York.
Right.
Man.
But I guess what Piranha didn't think about was, I mean, the people that want him probably also know that he has a private jet.
Right, yeah.
I mean, so maybe take a more discreet way out of town and then just get like a charter plane somewhere. But,
exactly.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yep. I mean, people, make rash decisions when they're nervous.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Piranha, he's gone. And the next thing we get here is Shades. He actually looks like he has a new haircut here. It looks good.
Yeah. He's got like that cut.
Yeah. He's got like almost like a
part.
Yeah, like a cut part in his head. Yep. And it's at this time where Mariah's like, okay, listen, y'all need to find Piranha. Okay, find him because right now Piranha really is the key. Piranha, he does hold like the holding assets for Mariah's money. Until he can more securely put them in a safe place. And the club, because she put the club up in order to fulfill the investment.
Super dumb.
Yep. And of course, Bushmaster wants Piranha because with that, he'll be able to own everything that Mariah owns and further destroy the woman's soul like he wants to.
True.
And of course, the police want Piranha because he's the key to the gang war going on right now.
Yeah.
So if they can get him, then they can get a calmer or a calmer sense of urgency on the whole situation.
For the first time ever, the piranha became a viable fish.
Yep. That is true. The next thing we get here is we get Stephen Marley, the son of Barb Marley. He's up playing a song on stage. I really love his music. It sounds really good.
His stuff this episode is great.
Yeah,
man.
It's a lot of fun. A lot of good music here. The Reverend tries to reconcile with Luke again, but Luke's not having any of it. Yeah. And at this point, they're really playing heavy, leaning on that card of us having sympathy on the Reverend. And they're almost playing it too heavy.
Yeah, like he has to continue apologizing. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay,
right.
Let's get off of this scene, please.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, like the acting in the scene, I think carried it.
It did.
Yeah,
because I mean, dude, the guy who played the Reverend again. We said it last time. Deserves to be said again. He's great.
He is. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's not an unfamiliar trope, like we've seen.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess like the whole fear from Claire and a little bit from Piranha is that if Luke doesn't reconcile this with his dad, his dad could die, and then Luke would never have the opportunity to make up with his dad,
even if he didn't ever want the opportunity.
Right? Yeah. But yeah, like I do understand and even appreciate the arc that they're trying to go here. It's just, I mean, it is just a little tropey,
Yep.
So
tropey.
Yep.
Huh.
Piranha is captured by Bushmaster. It's funny because like we don't even see the capture. It's just next scene. No, Bushmaster has him.
Yeah.
Here he is.
It's like, no, he had his free agency. He left out that door. And it's like, I can imagine it now. Like, Piranha's just like waltzing out the door like, hell no, I'm getting to my airstrip. I'm getting to my private jet. And Bushmaster just pulls up in a car, like, opens the door for him. And he just goes, nope, come here. It's like, well, that was easy.
Yep. I should have made this more difficult for him.
Exactly, yeah.
But poor Piranha, he's not really street savvy smart.
No.
And he's obviously not a fighter.
No. So all of a sudden, next scene, we're getting asked, so, do you like water?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what? Yeah. Exactly. And so he's been questioned by the goons and Bushmaster, and then he's basically told, okay, look, you're going to transfer all of Mariah's assets to me. And so get the typing. And Piranha, man, like, especially by the end of this episode, this scene really does hold more impact. There's a lot of scenes like that in this season, like that retroactively hold more impact once you see later scenes.
Right.
But right here, Piranha, he looks to Bushmaster, and maybe the only brave thing this man has ever done in his life, and he goes, you do know that Luke Cage is going to come for me, right? Mm-hmm. And like this scene on its own, like it's it is what it is. It's
right. It's something
okay.
we've seen again.
Right.
Sure.
But retrospectively, it's a little bit more powerful for me because we know what happens.
Right.
And this also shows how much hope and faith Piranha really had in Luke. Yeah. Like Piranha truly
he was his biggest fan.
Yeah. Piranha truly believed in Luke Cage. Like he was a believer.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so Piranha he's got to go to work for Bushmaster, transferring those accounts and that money.
Yep. Poor Piranha.
Yeah. Misty and Luke they raid Bushmaster's base. So once they raid his base, we really get to see Misty in action for the first time with that bionic arm.
Yeah.
And she's kicking all kinds of ass, and Luke has definitely noticed.
Yeah.
And so this is a pretty fun scene to watch. I like this scene here.
Same.
Yeah, we get to see a lot of Misty here, which is needed because we know what Luke can do.
Yeah.
So it was fun to see Misty kick some ass again. But I think that how in the we spoke a little bit last episode about how the funniest line of last season had to have been, "I'm Luke Cage."
Yeah.
And how that's just the funniest shit of season 1.
Yep.
I think so far the funniest line of this season has got to be, "You broke me nose."
Exactly. I love that one. Yes, thank you. You broke my nose. Because that was ad-lib. That character didn't have to say shit, but he just like threw it up in there, and the guy behind the chair was like, keep it. That's great.
Like that line, like the way that it was delivered was just so funny. I mean, like, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, then go back and rewatch that episode.
Exactly.
Especially this scene, and just listen to that guy go, "You broke me nose."
Oh, you broke my nose.
It was,
I don't know what accent I keep putting on it. That sounds more Irish, but you know what I'm saying, damn it. Yeah.
He was an Irish Jamaican.
That's how hard the nose break was.
It gave him foreign accent syndrome.
And he's just like, oh, shit. What is this, blimey?
Oh, man. Luke and Misty, they find Piranha, or his head, and his head is in a fish tank full of piranhas.
Ba-dum-bum.
Yep. Like, I'm not going to say that I expected Piranha to survive this season, but I was pleasantly, I don't want to say that I wanted him to die, but I was pleasantly surprised that they had the balls to do it this way.
Yeah.
Because, like, Luke, this was kind of a mission fail,
Yeah. This was not a past quest.
No, yeah. This was definitely a mission fail, and
that was important to him. Like, we see that very quickly, yeah.
Yeah. And, once again, I think it just adds another small layer to the character of Piranha. Because at first we just see him as this sleazebag, And then we see him as this sleazebag that really likes Luke Cage and that's his biggest fan.
Yeah.
And then we see him as this sleazebag that talks about his family, his parents,
right,
and how he looks at both of them and how he became who he is.
Yeah, kind of making him less sleazebag all of a sudden.
Yeah. And then we see him, like, in his last moments alive, the last thing that we see is him saying to Bushmaster, Luke Cage is going to save me. And
he didn't.
And he didn't, and I think that's going to impact Luke heavy. At least it needs to.
It needs to. It needs to have some emotional repercussions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But we'll see.
Yeah, for sure it does. The captain wants to cut a deal with Mariah.
Hey, we talked about that.
That we did, didn't we?
That's some shit.
Yep. He's trying to cut a deal with Mariah here, and he's trying to convince Mariah to give up Shades. That she can turn him over, then they can kind of shift everything on him, and that she can still have a way to get out of this life. And then he also suggests that Tilda doesn't know who her real dad is, suggesting that is it him?
I mean, possibly at this point. That's what I'm starting to believe.
Right.
Like, high school crush is more than a high school crush.
Right.
I mean, they even talked about, like, does she even know how old she really is?
Yeah.
Like, freaking that Mariah had a high school baby or something.
Yeah, could have been. Yeah,
maybe.
Mm-hmm. It's like we discussed last episode when Mariah was at the gala telling the story of the husband, and I said, I remember I said, like, if any of that story is untrue, it's got to be the end where she said that she found out she was pregnant the day her husband was deployed, or the day he died.
Right. Yeah. Again, it brought back the question: how much of that was really true?
Right. Yeah. And now we're seeing that there's some possible holes poked in that story for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, and also the police captain seems to unravel a little bit more also in this scene. Like, he's almost desperate for Mariah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, this episode especially made me just tired of the captain.
Because it was almost like another side of the captain.
Yeah. Like, we didn't already have Two-Face before, But
yeah, like this poor character, man. And it's not on the actor. It's really just because how this character was written.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you successfully portray all sides of this character and have it be cohesive.
Right. Yeah. It's at this point, you're trying to literally pull and drag out your one person to cover too many plot points.
Right.
Here. At this point, you really needed to rethink the plot if the character's not going to fit the bill.
Yeah.
That might be writing 201, but it's still pretty damn important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, and so the next thing we get here is Mariah. She goes back and she checks her bank statement, and all her money is gone. Yep. So you guys remember when we were discussing the previous episode, and I said,
300 something bullshit amazing mil.
Yeah, and I said when you check your bank account, there's that much money, you got to get a hit of dopamine or serotonin, and then I said unless you have my kind of money, and then you just get stress and anxiety.
Oh no!
Yep. And right now, Mariah definitely has my kind of money.
Worse. She's got nothing.
She's got nothing.
She's broke.
Yeah, there's nothing in there. Somehow she has outdone me.
She can't afford the drinks she's wasting.
Yeah.
Because she's wasted drink A.
Right. And by the way, Mariah, you don't need to be drinking those drinks because technically they belong to Bushmaster now. You drinking.
That's true. You're stealing his stock. Yeah.
Because at this point she realizes that, oh no, she doesn't have anything now. And she knows that Piranha's dead because the police captain told her. And so she's like, oh shit, my assets are all gone. So yeah, it's an appropriate time to freak out.
Yep. Agreed.
Comanche, this is when Comanche tries to convince Shades that he thinks that Sugar is the snitch. And
you knew at this scene, your boy Shades knew what was up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. But I really enjoyed the way that Shades plays this thing off.
Yeah. How long you been eyeing him?
Yeah, how long you been keeping an eye on him? Yeah. All right, so you really think it was Sugar? Okay. No, you go handle it. I trust you. Yeah. I really, really enjoy that.
And again, me watching it was more because I especially love camaraderie moments. Like see this one unravel,
right?
And you wonder how much of this is Shades playing with him versus again Shades hoping that I know what my instincts are telling me. I'm 90% sure, but sure, go find sugar.
Yep.
Let's hope for a dream.
Yeah. Do you think that there's a possibility that in another universe, that if Comanche at this point comes out and says, "Look, Shades, I got to be honest with you, man. The police company has forced me to be his informant. But I think that if you and I work together, we can get out of this, man, and we can erase all this shit." I wonder, if part of Shades wanted that to happen. If Shades, because like you said, I think that
if
Shades
knew
knew
the confession.
Yeah, I think that Shades absolutely knew at this point who the snitch was. But maybe he was not even so much toying with him at this point, but almost give him an opportunity to
do
tell
something
him.
like that.
Yeah,
that could be a possibility too. Yeah. And I'd like to think that in that universe where that plot did happen, maybe Shades was like, "Look, man, we're close, so I'm gonna save your life, but we're done. So you're gonna get the hell out of town.
You're right.
I got you this trip to so and so, whatever. Mm-hmm. I supplied it so you can leave. Yep. Essentially, your ass is grass to me. Go.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think
that's kind of like what I would have envisioned at that point. Too. But I mean, unfortunately, we didn't get that universe, and we got something much darker.
Yes, we did. Bushmaster says that he wants Mariah's soul. And this is the scene where they're at the killer. Yeah.
This was a good scene.
This was a good scene. Yeah.
Again, Bushmaster is great, man.
He is.
Everything he does, I'm liking. Yeah.
I have noticed this. I love everything that Bushmaster is in.
Okay. Okay. Where's the butt?
However.
Getting fancier on me. Okay. Fancy butt.
However, I will say this: his scenes, they've kept him in so far have been limited. They've been shortened. And he gets everything he's in is impactful.
Right.
But they're in small quantities. Sometimes smaller quantities is better than giving us a large overdose or something.
True.
With that being said, though, I feel that at this point, Bushmaster fortunately is a good character that it's not that big of an issue yet.
Right.
However, they're having a hard time showing true progression. They're just kind of retreading things that we've already seen and known for the past couple episodes.
That's actually a very insightful observation that you've made, because you're right. Everything we've seen him in has been pretty damn short. It's been a clips here, a short monologue there. You're right. I mean...
Yeah, it's almost like they don't have much more ammunition for him. Almost like they don't know what they want his other motivations to be. So you want to kill Mariah and get rid of the Stokes for good, but then
right,
that's
that's seeable. We understand that,
right?
But
and he's made that, he's made that
abundantly clear in multiple frames of thought.
Right.
Almost. One. I'm not going to chalk it up yet, because you're right, that's true. It works for what they're giving us, but it's still true. So, I'm hoping that the next set of 3 episodes is going to help kind of eradicate that issue a little bit more, kind of flesh them out, give them better screen time or something, anything really,
in order for them to give us true progression, you can't just give us scenes where the actor does a great job of stating his motives. We have to know more about the character himself,
especially with the same person over and over again. He's being the mirror. He's just a walking, talking. Who's the fairest of them all mirror right now?
Right.
Yeah.
But essentially,
yeah.
Luke he meets up again with his dad, and they have a talk here. And essentially, Luke comes to the conclusion that the world may be my problem, but it's not my fault. I think that's a really cool saying.
It is. It's powerful.
It is. Yeah. Kind of like I feel like at some point in time, everybody feels like the weight of the world is on their shoulders. How they have so many issues to deal with and so many problems at their hands. All of these things, they're going to be your problem, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're your fault.
Right.
So you don't have to
you don't have to blame yourself. You don't have to be so hard on yourself.
Because at that point, you're just sacrificing energy to negativity, and that's wasted energy.
It really is, at that point, just go easier on yourself. You know?
Right.
Don't.
And that's what Luke is figuring out that he needs to do. You know, he says that it's not my fault; it's actually your fault.
He takes that a different direction. He does say, okay, there is fault to be had, and it's yours.
It's yours. Yep. The fault has to go somewhere, and it's going over to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Comanche meets with the captain again, and he's freaking out because probably he doesn't know which captain he's meeting with. But no, he's freaking out because he knows at this point that, look, Shades, I'm pretty sure he's on to me, man. Like, we have to do something. Like, I can't do this no more. Like, I'm done. Like, I can't continue to inform for you. Like
man, look, here's a solution. Mariah, we know this and this is this. You know, we got the guilt of mission here. I mean, is that enough? You know?
And he's like, almost. But then at this point, Shades shows up.
You know what the beautiful thing is here? Before we move to Shades, that was enough to put her away.
It was.
That's the thing. That's the observation.
Yeah.
It was.
That enough.
Was plenty. But the chief wanted more for this whole twisted bipolar bullshit he's covering. Whole informant of Mariah type thing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like he wanted to uphold the law, but he also wanted his own personal fantasies to be fulfilled.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Comanche was suffering for that, as we're about to see some more.
Yeah, they both suffer for this.
Oh yeah.
So at this point, when Shades walks up, Comanche pulls his gun on the captain, and then I give it to Comanche. He comes up with the story, man.
He's off the bat quick. He's just like, nah, man. I found his informant. I found this.
I found out I was right. Sugar was the informant. Instead, I jumped Sugar, and then I came here, to meet. I mean, he spends his day.
Did you listen to Tell though? In detail, he says, I went to Sugar's mom, who told me who his informant was. That right there is a plot hole already. It's smart how he came up with it on the spot, but then it's like, so what? Sugar just tells all his crime business to his mom.
Yeah.
Like, hey, mom, we just did this thing. We just ran down this Chinese restaurant today, trying to, hawk up that money for good old Mariah Stokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm working for the police captain. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, like, just to really show his fidelity, like, he shoots the police captain. When the police captain starts talking, also just to shut him up to make sure that the captain doesn't say anything that would definitely give him away.
He already was.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Darius, it's cool, man.
It's cool, Darius.
Vernon, we're cool, man. Okay.
Yeah. Like, there's a way out of this for all of us, And then, he shoots and kills the police captain, and it's at this point
a little celebration at this moment.
Yep. And then, man, like, once again, I thought this was great work by Shades here.
Yeah,
this is really good work. I
like this a lot.
Yeah, because he's still playing it up, man. And it's like Shades is still playing it up like he
doesn't reveal until the most critical moment. Yeah.
I mean, this scene was so well done. I really enjoy this here. And
I even loved how he began it. Like, we killed a cop. He used that particular word on purpose. Like, wow, we killed a cop. What are we going to tell them?
Yeah. And like it is curious to think, because surely Shades just could have killed them as soon as he walked up.
Right. He could have either shot him and then shot the cop. But
he could have. I mean, I do understand that Shades ultimately knew what he had to do and wanted to look like he and the cop shot each other.
Yep.
Also, however, though, I feel that maybe even still in these last moments, Shades knew what he had to do, but
he didn't want to do it.
He didn't want to do it, and I think that also he wanted maybe he wanted Comanche to give Comanche one last time to just come clean, man. Like,
maybe because
you and me are boys. You like. So this is what we're going to do? You think this is a good plan? Okay, we're going to do this. Yeah. But, no, I thought this was just a really fun scene, though. Like, it was a really deep scene that these characters needed, once again. But, yeah, even down to Comanche's last breath, man. Like he still looked at Shades as a friend, And they tell a story when they were kids, and they stole some hot dogs. And then it was Shades' idea, but Comanche took the blame for it. And, he did it because, they were boys. Like, that's how it is.
Admittedly, when I first watched that, I was confused, really. Because he says, it was my idea. You took the blame for it, but then he proceeds to say, I should have seen the snitch in you then. And I was confused at that point, like, wait, he was taking the blame for you, though. But then I realized someone had to tell the mom.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and that was the point where I'm like, yeah, you're always his boy because you stood up for him, but you didn't have to tell the mom,
exactly,
Jack, you know.
Yeah.
Did you bring her a hot dog too? You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one had to know.
Exactly. So I wanted to talk about that just to clarify, because it quickly went from you covered for me to you're a piece of shit, you know? Yeah.
Yep.
But anyways.
Yeah, I thought that was probably the best scene of this episode for me. Yeah. There's some other good stuff too, though.
Yeah.
So the next thing that happens here is Bushmaster. He breaks into Mariah's home.
This part was good.
This was good. He ties up Mariah and Tilda, and he has his goons pour gasoline all over the house.
Yep. No. The brownstone. No one ever called it Mariah's home.
That's true. It was the brownstone.
Always the brownstone. Like even people who didn't live there.
DW. He runs in.
He was just like, nah, man. Mariah's brownstone is burning. Like, what the shit? It's a damn house.
It's a house.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? No. Give me a second. I'm doing this now.
Geez.
Damn it.
Okay.
Where's Google?
Yep.
We're looking up what the hell's the difference between a brownstone and a house. But keep talking.
Yep. We're 2 hours into this, and we're looking at brownstone.
We're doing it.
Anyways, at this point, what we also get is a really cool contrast and comparison. We get Bushmaster talking to Mariah while Luke is talking to Reverend James. And basically what they're both talking about is the last time that they both saw their mothers. And I thought that this is a really other cool scene here because we know how it went with Luke, and now we see how it went with Bushmaster as well. About how Bushmaster, you know, he tells a story about how his family or how his mother was basically killed by the Stokes and why he hates them so much because they set his house on fire. His mother narrowly was able to make sure that Bushmaster made it out. And that's the last time we ever seen his mom. Mm-hmm. And this is happening as Luke is saying to the Reverend, to his father, how the last time he saw his mother, you know, was when he first got locked up in jail. And then she was sick, but she still believed in him even then. Yeah. So I thought that was really cool how they show us that side-by-side comparison of both our hero and our main antagonist.
Yeah. A lot of the times, the hero and the antagonist have a lot in common.
Yep.
Yeah. Beautiful said. Also, real quick. Okay, so here's the deal. A townhouse is a multi-story urban house in the middle of a city most times, you know. Pretty close to the street in proximity. And, there's going to be similar surrounding houses most often than not. A brownstone is just a type of townhouse, but with brown sandstone for the facade. So in other words, we're unnecessarily calling this house a brownstone all the time. Just putting that out there, writers, people.
There we have it.
Where's a freaking Lucian?
DW tells Luke that Mariah's place of living is on fire. And Luke...
Thanks for that.
Yeah, Luke runs in and saves them.
Sure.
Mariah says that she's going to hire Luke. And that's... I actually like that. That's where the episode ends. That's where 207 ends. Yeah, I thought that... I don't know what money she's going to hire him with, but... Yeah. I do like the premise. Because she even said it in the previous episode. The only person she can trust is Luke Cage.
Yeah. It's a very cool concept. Mm-hmm. It is. I'm curious what it's going to be translated as too, though. Yeah. And also whether or not Luke Cage is going to want to take that job.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. He was willing to let Piranha have somebody shoot him in a crowded area, so maybe.
Okay, willing means other things. I think he was kind of like coerced into it more so than not.
No, because he had a choice. He could have walked away.
He could have walked away.
Or he could have crushed the gun and walked away, yeah.
Also, yes. But then also the money would have gone, and he needed the money.
He needed the money, sure, but it's not like Luke can't find another way. It's not like he wouldn't try to find another way. Mm-hmm. Just standing down and be like, all right.
Exactly.
That's not...
Like one contest and then, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's that too.
Yeah. But yeah, so what are your overall thoughts on the season as a whole so far, Kevin?
Definitely not one of my top seasons for Marvel Netflix. There's a lot of stuff that you just wish they didn't do, really. The stuff they give us that's good, though, is really good. And so you like it, and you fall in love with it, and it's there. But right now, it needs to have a hell of an ending to restore the season in my mind to a great status. Right now, it's just like a good in my mind. Like, I'd watch it again, especially leading up to Luke Cage 3. Whenever, if ever we get that. But would I willingly watch it over, like, Punisher again, or Daredevil Season 2 again, or Defenders even? Probably not. No, ever. Yeah. How about you?
It's about the same. Like, we're a little over halfway through this season, and, like, for most shows, being at this point in the season kind of tells you how the rest of the format's going to go.
Right.
But once again, like we've said so many times, these Netflix Marvel shows have that thing where they hit a slouch at one point in the season. It's most times it's in the middle, sometimes it's earlier, sometimes a little later.
Like Luke Cage 1, definitely later.
Definitely after Cottonmouth died. Which
he shouldn't have lost him.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like here they are smart in giving us small bursts of Bushmaster, because giving us any more of him reveals more fully that he's not as deep as he seems to be. With that being said, I really enjoy all the Bushmaster stuff. I'm really enjoying Shades more and more. I'm curious to see what happens with Mariah. Like you said, this also was not one of my favorite seasons so far, but I'm curious to see where things go still. And I think I still have enough faith that the show can stick the landing.
Right, so. Agreed. I will say this though, cool factoid I just thought about. I didn't realize this until just now for some reason, but I didn't realize that Bushmaster, it is an actual type of rum, yes, but before that, it's the name of a certain species of snake.
Oh,
like the cottonmouth, like the diamondback.
Okay.
So yeah,
there you go. Falls in line.
There you go. Yep. Yeah. So the next villain in season 3 is going to be Copperhead. There you go. Enough said. A Rattlehead, or rattlesnake head. Yeah. He's going to have Copperhead as little brother.
I'm going to ask that you never come up with villain names ever. Okay.
He just shakes his head.
Yeah.
Anyways,
that's where we're gonna end things for tonight, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this coverage, and if you guys are watching the season, then for sure let us know what you guys are thinking. Hit us up at our Facebook page or our email address, superherohomies@gmail.com, and we'll be more than happy to hear what you guys think about it, or if you guys have any questions also. So this Wednesday we'll be doing Luke Cage episodes 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. And then the following night, Thursday night, we will have our coverage and review of Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yep.
And then Sunday, we will wrap up our coverage of Luke Cage Season 2 by covering episodes 11, 12, and 13.
Yep. Yeah. So by next week, we'll be done with the season.
Yep. Absolutely. So
hopefully you're watching it with us. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hell yeah, guys. So this is going to be all for now, guys. But as always, we appreciate you guys listening. Once again, let us know if there's anything that you guys would like to hear us talk about, and we'll consider it.
Okay, damn it. And once again, please tell your friends, let them know about the page. Sharing the love definitely helps all of us out.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. This is going to be all for now, but we will see you guys in a couple of days. Till then, I'm Quentin.
I'm Kevin.